Hello everybody.
Hi Shalil.
Hi. Thank you for joining us today. The way I want to start today is that we are in the January month and it's 2024. I think there was a time 2000 when the internet came. Then there was a time when we had Internet of Things, which is around 2011 or something. It's a turn of the decade. And there's another turn of the decade. We're now talking about AI. All of these phases are the revolution in the industry, right? It's a sort of transformational aspect we are looking at it. So today is a very interesting topic. We're starting in the month of January and we are really talking about the new sort of animal.
A life insurance product first through digital marketing.
Yes.
That is awareness part of it. How do I convert that interest into a consideration for Kotak Life as a brand to select, to consider for his or her life insurance needs? And third one is how do I fulfill that entire part with the help of building the purchase intent and giving a seamless, smooth journey to the customers to do that entire thing on their own.
Finance industry as such has been a forefront of adoption of technology, right? As such, right? Whether banks or insurance or NBFCs and financial institutes, today India stands out to be the highest in terms of adoption of technology in the financial perspective. First of all, there are so many products into the market. Second, the buying the product versus premium versus what I'm getting out into it. What are the rules and regulations, compliance, security, privacy, everything will play an important role, right? So there comes the most complex process I call it most complex product.
Because what happens if you are doing certain activities, just because anybody and everybody in the market is doing it, then it's very difficult to show value.
But chatbot is chatbot. It could be vanilla chatbots and so on. So I mean, 99% of them are the vanillas one today.
Yeah.
But people are talking about a great noise being made. It's artificial intelligence. You will feel like you're talking to a customer executive. Your cost will go down to 1/10 what you are doing, and whatnot. Productivity would be at a peak.
Correct.
I'm hearing statements from people, business leaders across the globe. I am not seeing that. Value actually adhere to, right?
So, in a technical term, it can be divided into, I would say, 3 parts. So, one is the artificial narrow intelligence. I think we are there. We are able to get that narrow intelligence, which is task automation. Talking about a task automation. There is a specific task. It has to be done in a specific way. We have the wherewithal and the knowledge and the algorithms and the way to implement. We are there. And I think you see in many organizations have already adopted that.
Correct.
The second part is the artificial general intelligence. That is something which is still in the area of your high performance computing and mostly with the educational institutions as well as very large labs. They are experimenting on that. And some of the very prominent organizations, very deep pocket organizations, like Google or Microsoft.
Yes.
They are also doing a lot of work in that area. The third is the combination of these two, which is the artificial superintelligence.
Yeah.
If you combine these two, you get to the area where we are talking about, you're having another human being and you're having conversation with him.
Yeah.
And he's able to understand the full context of the subject and give a reply based on his abilities of narrow intelligence, which is based on knowledge in the repository, and the general intelligence, which is based on the larger context. So I think the first one is mature, second one, work is happening, third one, I think we have some time to reach there.
Yeah, I think my job is still safe by the time.
So last year we launched a product called Protect India. So that was the first product, which is a term insurance product, though smaller sum assured. We created the journey which is end-to-end straight through with proper machine-based underwriting as well.
Okay.
So we define all the underwriting logics, rules as a part of the journey. As I'm going through the journey, the system was deciding whether this particular customer is eligible, not eligible, and as per that the journey was happening. There is a module what we implemented on a facial scan. Now why do I need a facial scan as a part of my journey? It is nothing but to check the liveliness of the customer. That to ensure that when the customer is purchasing the product where I'm not going to underwrite, where I'm not going to ask for a physical medical, I need to ensure that that liveliness of that customer is getting checked.
Sure.
So we implemented a face scan method that face scan at the end of the that when I had taken the selfie and all those things, it was giving me a liveliness score. If the liveliness score is above a certain percentage, then only I was taking that case inside. Otherwise, I was keeping that particular customer not in that straight through process.
Very interesting.
The outcome of the workload is something that is going to be something that is going to democratize many things.
No doubt about it. I think people are starting to assume that AI is commoditized now.
Yeah.
Right? But it is not, because until he can't share his data, I don't think you can share your data out anywhere, right? And in no circumstances you can do $1 billion parameters indexing to your data. Right?
Correct.
Not needed also, yeah.
ChatGPT is ChatGPT because they have done the indexing for the billion parameters, right? That's what they have done it. Otherwise, there is no difference between any model which we create with 10 parameters and they create it, right?
Yeah.
It's just that they have done it at a scale which is so enormous that 1 billion has been done. It took years for them.
Yeah.
And you said rightly, right? These are siloed approach which we are looking at it. Is there an example which you have already delivered? Some cases which you have already got?
Yeah, I think before going to the cases, I think just to address the point that you made and whatever you are making, So there are predominantly 3 ways of consumption of this AI technology as a whole, be it a standard AI model, predictive models, or generative AI. So one is the simple, which is API based, right? There is somebody like ChatGPT or Llama or whoever, they expose the API, you use the API, you get what you want. The second one is where, there are a lot of open source models available. So you get those models, which are pre-trained models, you fine tune it on your data. So which is your organization's data, which you don't want to share outside. This kind of a proprietary data. You do a fine tuning training of that model and use it. There are multiple models available. Every use case will have appropriateness of what model you want to reuse. The third option is you create your own model, which is a very difficult. So if you see from first to third, the complexity keeps on increasing.
Yeah.
The first one is very easy. You just use API, pay them, you're done. Second, you download the model, get it into your data center, fine tune it, there is an effort, but you can use it. Third one is you create everything from scratch, which is super tough, super difficult. So I think these are the 3 things, and we see, most of the organizations are in this journey now. Whenever we talk to our customers, we see all 3 flavors.
Yeah.
So I think there are unicorns, and these large companies, they are in the third one, where they are actually thinking about creating something on their own. Large enterprises and banking and finance, they are in first 2.
So we bring all of that together as a service model. Today at a global level, we are able to provide as a service models for large language models, which means if you want to use large language models and develop your own outcomes out of it, you could do that. We have partnered with a German company called Aleph Alpha, and the model is called Luminous. So that's one example. You could essentially do that for various other use cases as well.
Sure.
So, putting together a nice alternative, a nice way for organizations which are truly dependent, who from a compliance perspective would need to keep data security, would need the right kind of performance. A great alternative here.
Scale it up. If you experiment, it fails, do another experiment. But there is no alternative to doing that experiment. Otherwise, if we don't do experimentation, that after some time we'll face few challenges. If customer moves towards that experimentation direction, then we'll have a challenge. So it's better we do the experiments. And
So investments into instruments will lead to the readiness of the organization, right?
It's, as part of the whole strategy, that how do you really have a COE approach? Some customers are actually having a COE approach, which might be a low cost to start with, but have a lot of internal talent development and not depend completely on the outside world.
Sure.
So have balance of the right investments, right talent, and investment not only in infrastructure, in talent as well as people, as well as having this entire hybrid strategy together.
Sure.